ខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះពីងតកូលគង់សពថ្ងៃរស់នៅតំបន់South Philadelphia អត្រេស1713 South 6th Street Philadelphia Pennsylvania
The best storyteller was my grandparent
ស្រុកកំណើតកើតនៅភូមិខ្នាយតងឃុំស្វាយភ្លើងស្រុកបារាយខេត្តកំពង់ធំកម្ពុជា
While telling story, we work at the same time. So if you work a little bit, you get tired, you want to go away, but the story just keep us, together. So we want to listen to the stories.
In Cambodia, I spent my first 2 years in the Buddhist temple, starting my school. And the teachers, the monks there, they always told us some stories. And during the holiday or weekends, I go to a temple, another temple with my father. And you heard a lot of story there from older people.
Since I was young, I've been hearing stories. My dad taught me how to read and write Cambodian since I was like 8 or 9. So when I was like around 11, he started telling me stories and all. And that's when I started getting interested in reading and writing to learn more stories. My parents gave me this book they got from the camp. The camp was where my parents went after they left Cambodia because of the war. It was hard to find books of Cambodian stories during the war, but they had this one in the camp. There's lots of stories. My dad tells me stories about Cambodia, about his life, folk stories, and traditional stories. One of the most popular stories is about a boy called Achay.
There are two different stories, Achay and Thnonjay. There one Achay, he's not a smart man. Another one Thnonjay. Thnonjay is a smart man. There's two different stories. I like the one with the smart man.
When the king was still in power, Achay was considered just a regular story, and because they make Achay look very bad, look dumb, look stupid, because in the story you can see that Achay outsmarted the king all the time.
And there's another guy named Aleo.
I think I learned one thing from story of Aleo. He's not a good, clean, well-mannered and follow the rule boy, but he's clever. He always can get away. I have 8 brothers and sisters in my family, and I'm the youngest. So they never let me go anywhere. So when the communists came, all my brothers thought that I would die. I would be the first to die because I never had any experience in life. Stay home all the time, rarely go out, somewhere. And from those stories, I remembered, and then I think, that helped me to survive.
And lots of stories are about different animals.
It's funny, and at the same time, it showed me, what to do is like I have something wrong come to my life, Like, I would do like a rabbit instead of doing like, with the animal, I would pick the smart one, and I said, I would do like, this animal.
Learn how to respect others, like we use the rabbit, which is a small, defenseless animal, but it is very smart, intelligent. So even though you are small, you are weak in terms of physical, but you can survive if you have the intelligence to solve problems.
All right, here's the story about the rabbit. The rabbit wanted to eat banana. He got hungry, so then he tried to find any way to eat food. Then he saw this old lady coming down the road who had a basket full of bananas on her head. The rabbit decided to play dead by the side of the road. When the old lady saw him, she thought he was dead and threw him into the basket. She kept walking on to the marketplace while the rabbit was in her basket eating all of her bananas. When the old lady got to the marketplace, the rabbit just hopped out and the old lady never knew what happened. But really, the story is much longer than that. I just wanted to give some little details so you would know what happened.
People come to the shop sometimes. Some people would be so depressed and so stressful, and then instead of like telling the story that make them more depressed, you would say, I have a story for you, this is Cambodian and all. They would enjoy it. Oh, that's a nice story, and then they would ask you like, who told you the story? I said, my parent or my grandparent.
I drive somewhere and then I told her the story. So she was so interested in the story about the rabbit, and I told her to tell me the story back in Cambodian. And she didn't tell me the story I told her, but she would make up her own story, about rabbit. Rabbit wants, I told her about rabbit wants to eat banana, wants to do this, wants to do that. She would tell me rabbits want to ride a bicycle, because she got a bicycle and then, but that's fine with me, and she tried to put the words together in Cambodian. We still keep the tradition alive in somewhat, not completely in Cambodian, but in English. I think you can see that the reflection of the folklore story and the Cambodian life.
I think it's very important, and if people would, make the books and all that, because so this way you can show to the kid like you have your own story, and the story is very important because sometimes when you were young you don't really understand, but you get older it really applies to your everyday life.
Sometimes, I talk with my wife about, and or sometimes when we have a family reunion with my brothers and sisters, and then we always talk about the old experience that we had, that we shared together. And my daughter would sit there and listen, and yeah, she asked me a lot of questions sometime about life back there. That too, I try to tell her, how hard life was, and let her not to forget, and just use it for a lesson to do something good in life.
Yeah, I learned it from my parents and I learned it my own way.